In today's episode, we will travel back in time to the Baroque period in art. With the help of today's main subject, Bald Eagle, we will fly a few centuries back and borrow some stylish elements characteristic for these times. Using Baroque elements, we will create Bald Eagle's portrait, applying the principles of image within an image technique. So grab your coffee, relax, and enjoy today's program. Hello, welcome to the fourth episode of my art tutorial series called Drawing Within a Drawing, a series about illusionary drawing, images hidden within images. As always, let's just have a quick look back into the image that we've created in the last episode number 3. In that episode, we created a mystical temple based on the ancient Greek architecture, and this temple featured a group of temple guardians that held the ceiling of the temple based on the kind of simple illusion that was used to create this drawing. So if you like what you see, please watch episode 3. Anyways, let's talk about today's subject. Today we're going back in time again. Not as far as ancient Greece, we will be going to the era called Baroque. This is a little hint. And we'll be kind of using elements of Baroque. We'll be using elements of fashion and outfits that people wore in Baroque. And how we gonna get there? We will get there on the wings of Bald Eagle. Okay, enough talking. I know what you think. Thomas, enough talking, start drawing. So I agree with you. Let's switch camera angle and let's start our today's lesson. Going back in time is not an easy task, so we have to find some sort of a transportation. And I think I found the proper mean of transportation, and we're gonna fly on the back of a bald eagle. Well, this one looks kind of angry, so maybe he wouldn't be so happy to take us back a few centuries. So let's try. Well, this one looks like he's just woken up and came out of the shower and is like, "Why are you looking at me? Hey, I'm still wet. Leave me alone." Okay. Don't worry. Take your time. This one is like, I'm busy. Leave me alone. So let's try. Oh yeah, I like this one. This one is like, looks like a bit older eagle, and it's like, okay, I'm in business, but I'm open. Just make sure it's not gonna take too much. Okay, so if it's not gonna take too much time, let's start working on our image. As always, I will apply a sheet of tracing paper, and as always, sorry for as always twice, we will focus on the darkest areas. If you want to learn all the techniques and everything in terms of what I use in my studio to create that type of images, you can always refer to the episode 1 of my tutorials called Basics, and you will find everything there. So the first step is to focus on the darkest areas. So in case of the bald eagle, the head is white or very light, so there's not much to focus on. Of course, eyes, pupil, and darker areas around the eyes, a bit of the tiny little feather there. This line is important. We'll be using it later to create an object that it's not necessarily connected with a bald eagle, but we will work on that when this nice creature will be kind enough to take us back to the baroque. So let's just kind of trace the main feature here. Of course, the most characteristic part of a bald eagle, beak. It's yellow, but this is pencil drawing, so we don't care much about the colors. But yeah, let's just transfer main features of that image just to mark it up. It's just a sketch that we'll be working on at that point, so you don't have to worry about sticking 100% to all the details. We can always put the tracing paper back on that image and add more or fix imperfections, but this image is relatively simple. There's not much. I think we have captured most of what we need. As I said, we can always, even when you remove the image, hey, don't forget about the trick that I showed you, I believe in episode 2. If you want to have this image precisely, I think I moved it already, but anyways, yeah, if you leave the tracing paper and just mark up the original image underneath, and then you just follow these guys. Anytime when you have to remove the image and you want to apply it right in the proper position, all you have to do is just follow these guys right there. The bottom one is not perfect, but yeah, something more or less like this. So yeah, we have traced an outline of an eagle. Maybe just, I'm not even sure if we'll be using that bottom part, because of course it's not about copying an image of an eagle, it's about creating a new image. But for now, it will not hurt just to kind of trace everything according to what's underneath. Okay, so yeah, let's remove the image, the source image, and put our eagle on top of a clean sheet of paper. We will still need an image as a reference, just to mark up the darker areas, the darkest areas, like an eye right there and an eye right there. All right, and these areas here, I think this is sort of like a nose that the bird can breathe through. Oh, you see, I missed a part. Like, I have this part here copied, but there is nothing on that part, on that side. So let's quickly put the image underneath, use our crosses, and okay, and just copy this part right there. Okay, so again, let's remove the source image, and this is our eagle. More or less a good source to start our image. Okay, so since it's just a sketch, I'll get a bit loose on that subject, and I'll try to show you how we're gonna get to this baroque theme, period of time when Rembrandt, one of the famous painters, lived and created his masterpieces. So basically, what's intriguing me is these lines, kind of looking this eagle kind of angry or serious, but this is something that I kind of like to use to create another subject that we will include in that image that will make this eagle look not so much eagle-like, but let me explain you. These eyes, like, baroque. This is a self-portrait of Rembrandt. Look at these hats. Look at these hats. These shapes are so irregular that it leaves us so much room for interpretation. Like, look at that hat, all these feathers. So I mean, if you have a baseball hat looking sort of like this, it's very defined. But this hat, okay, in this case it looks sort of like this, and we have these feathers going like that. But if the wind blows, the hat can look like that, but the feathers can go either way. So in illusionary art, there is always a need to fill out the areas with an object that's totally different from what the source image is based upon. And in this case, I like it because we can basically, you see, if it comes to the face, it has to be very defined. But when it comes to the hair, if it's a bit longer, a bit, moved to the back or whatever, it will always look right. So I want to use an eye to build sort of like that type of hat, or that type of hat, right? So let's kind of treat an eye like a hat, and of course hat is worn but by a person, so why not to create a little face here. So that's gonna be our hat. Of course, it's just a sketch, right? And these guys had long hair, just like on that image right there. I don't know, but well, this may even look more like a woman. But anyways, this is sort of my baroque type of fashion hat. Oh, the feather can go anywhere, and we'll do identical thing on the left side. Maybe let's do a little bit of just improvisation. let's do a little profile here. Profile. Let's say it's an eye, and this is sort of like connecting. Maybe we'll add a bit of a yeah, it's all about the fashion. We will get back to the more realistic elements of baroque fashion, but you know what I mean here. Maybe we'll darken up an eye a bit, and yeah, we're getting there. So the shape of the beak creates, these guys, as you see, look, these wore these capes, stuff like this, right? So it's very good. It's a very good thing for us because we can kind of interpret it in any way we like, right? So as you still see, an eagle looks still as an eagle, especially when we kind of emphasize that whatever this gentleman is wearing is kind of making sense. But I like this shape of the beak because this will determine our baroque style subject. So yeah, it's very brief, it's very basic, nothing really defined here, but this can give us an idea where are we going and what would be the next step. I think it's a good starting point, and we will focus on more details in a moment. So one thing that's kind of easy for me, and it's kind of obvious, is a shape of the head of an eagle. Of course, when you trace it up, there were those little feathers here and there and here and there, but I want to kind of make it more symmetrical, more geometrical, and even break this line that we copied. So I want to use it as an element of the architecture. I want to make it looking like a sort of like a gate, right? Of course, at that stage, doesn't matter. This column's gonna look like this or like that, but yeah, still keeping in mind that we're working on an eagle, but in a sense we start to lose this eagle, and that's when this kind of a balance between a source image and images that we apply to kind of hide it comes to work. And I think you know what I mean. So the basic idea is to have this eagle hidden behind this baroque kind of style, two figures. I'm not sure, at that point it looks like two ladies. Maybe later we will switch one lady for a man or whatever, but there is some sort of a connection, eye to eye, or some story starting to kind of develop. There you go. We can touch a little bit on, oh yeah, ladies need hair. But yeah, so, and of course it will be important to make this beak stand out. Will these two figures be everything that we'll be including in that image? I don't know. We may add something later, but I think now you have a better idea on where we're going, which way we're heading to. So yeah, I'll work a bit more on that drawing, and maybe I'll add a few more elements, and I will see you in a few minutes. This sketch is pretty well established, and I think it's ready for next step when we will transfer it over to the next sheet of paper. And just one thing, I do these videos over the period of few days, so what you see here was created yesterday, and this morning I was thinking about that image, and I think this arch here, if we're talking about a baroque, I have printed a picture of a fountain in Rome, the Trevi fountain in Rome, and this is a very, very good example, a classical example of baroque, in this case Italian baroque. And I would like to use the elements of this particular portal here in the back of the fountain in my drawing. Not exact copy, of course. This is more about an illusion, an eagle hidden in that baroque kind of theme, scenery, but some elements that will kind of add up this baroque flavor. So, but we'll work on that later. And at this point, I will transfer what we have here, what you see here, onto the next clean sheet of paper. And of course, just like in the past episodes, we will transfer it using a simple method of applying a bit of a pencil graphite to the back, and then after this we will flip the page back, and by tracing the outlines, the drawing will get transferred onto the next new sheet of paper. So let me, as always, I'm trying to position my sketch on the tracing paper sort of symmetrical and well balanced, leaving enough room underneath an image and above an image. So sort of more or less like this. I mean, this is just a tutorial, but don't forget about those kind of reference points. I would recommend to start with, actually, you know what, I believe the easiest way to transfer them is just to copy them the same way we'll be copying an entire image. So quick, okay. Sorry. Yeah, let's do it sort of like this. So first thing, I'm using very hard, not very hard, 3H, hard enough. So let's just trace these reference points, crosses, in case the paper moves or we accidentally move the tracing paper. Here we go. So you can always place it right upon, referring to these 4 crosses, and all that's left at this point is just trace a part by part. It doesn't have to be really precise, but the key elements, like in this case the face, the hair, and obviously the beak, this has to be well executed. It's sort of like a main feature of an eagle. So yeah, let's try to be really precise when it comes to the beak, but other than that, we will be kind of loosely executing the drawing. We have the basic elements, key features of that image transferred. So I'm just making a few notes here and there. Okay, yeah, there will be a bit of an ornament going, you know, that way, or maybe not. It depends, but just very gently you make a note here and there. Okay. There is a potential of including this and that, but nothing is really defined at that point, and nothing has to be there. Our main goal is to achieve this effect in the final image of an eagle hidden in this baroque scenery, but everything else is just an addition, it's just decoration. I mean, you can add multiple elements to that image, build it up and up and up, but remember, the main reason behind that image is to kind of trick people with a bald eagle hidden in that scenery that we are creating. Of course, at the beginning, these touches are very gentle. You don't want to put too much dark or leave too much light areas. Refer to your drawings, have your sketch, have your image of an eagle handy, have your sketch handy, have an images that you kind of support yourself with handy. As you see, unlike many people, I don't go when I draw, I don't focus on a single element. I just jump from one part to another. I want this image to grow evenly in all areas. I don't want to apply too much darkness in one area and then realizing, oh, that was too much, because when you have a nicely established image and you have to kind of use this, it's a good recipe for the failure. So just kind of touch here, touch there, even though these columns are solid columns, I still want to kind of have this line feature, so I'm not gonna close this eagle in the symmetrical stuff. I still want these guys to kind of add up to the overall shape of the eagle's head. So maybe I will kind of pretend that these columns are wrapped up with a sort of like a fabric or something, just to have it closer to the original eagle's head, but even at that point you can see that I think it's going into the right direction. So well, at that point I'm trying to establish the faces, because these are the most defined elements of my image. So I mean, it's not a big deal to come up with an arch with the clothing, with the hair, but if there is something wrong at with the faces, the drawing will not be good. So I'm kind of establishing main features, just kind of like trying to just make them looking like happy baroque girls. This one is sort of more like a profile, so it should be easier. It is easier, I guess, but yeah, the hair, they had these kind of curly hairs, I guess, but as long as we have these areas established, we should be doing good. So yeah, that's where we at that point. And I think these I think girls have a kind of much softer kind of shaped nose than guys. Nothing against guys, but you still see the eagle here, right? So the further process will be like about keeping a balance, but have this eagle sort of like hidden a bit. We don't want them to stand out and shout, "Hey, I'm an eagle! You know, forget about everything else. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here." We want it to have sort of like 50-50, and have this sort of an element of intrigue, of surprise left for those who will be looking at that image. Working on the arch, as you see, a bald eagle head, of course, is white, and there is this contrast between what's behind the head and the white feathers. So when working on the arch, we would like to make it darker so that the sort of like a head of an eagle can stand out. So yeah, that's a quick comment on how to kind of balance and control what's going on with our drawing. So I'm still trying to kind of, I have this top part pretty much established, but I'm still thinking about what to do with these feathers here, and I just came up with this idea. Like, this is sort of like a very thin, like almost like a silk fabric kind of floating, and this gives me this impression of irregular, very loose, but still kind of connecting to that kind of shape. So I have just created this, like, I don't know if I'll leave it like that. It's just something, like, you see, even when you have an idea of what you want to do, you always have these new kind of ideas coming to your mind, and I just want to make quick note that, hey, maybe it's not a bad idea. So, and just like in case of an eagle, still, you know, the white feathers and there is the rest of the body. So I want to kind of distinguish these two areas, a light one and a dark one. Right? So I'm just making quick note that, hey Thomas, don't forget this area should be lighter, and even though it's my final drawing, I'm applying those irregular lines, but I do it very gently, so I can always work on the details later. I don't know, it just came to my mind, and I think it's worth exploring. Whether it will work or not, well, we shall see. We shall see. But yeah, so we slowly kind of getting to the point when most of that image is established, and once you have all the parts, bits and pieces in place, all the pieces of the puzzle, then basically you only focus on drawing, and drawing, it's an easy part. But yeah, even though you work on the final image, there is still a lot of options for changes, for implementing new ideas. So just like that. Just like that. And don't forget, when you do your drawing, you basically see it from a few inches above, a foot above. But every, I don't know, half an hour, 20 minutes, stand up and look at your image from a distance. It'll give you a better perspective. You may lose some proportions. You may have some lines going out of the line of symmetry. So yeah, just step back, take a breather, and see what's going on, because it's important. Some things are really hard to catch when you look at your image from a very, very short distance. That lower part almost looks like a sails, like boat sails. I have to think about that. But yeah, you see all these shapes? Hey. You see, that's the beauty of that type of drawing. When you do something, you always come up with new ideas. Your mind is always kind of analyzing, going through what you do, and all of a sudden, out of all these shapes, there's something coming out, and you're like, wow, let's add it up. Let's make this drawing a more interesting, more intriguing. There's no limits. That's the beauty of that type of drawing. On one hand, you focus on the effect, but everything that surrounds this main kind of focal point is so up to your interpretation. It's so much that can happen, that can change in the blink of an eye. You just do one or two lines, or you fill out an area with a bit of a darker shade, and out of the blue you like see totally new things. That's what I love about this technique. No limits. It's like a living organism. It breathes it talks to you, and sometimes it tells you, hey, try more. I like what you're doing, but you can do better. You can add more. So yeah, it's wonderful. That's why I love that type of art so much. I mean, these possibilities are endless. Like anything can happen, and you, the master of your own creation, you can change it. You can add. You can remove items, and basically nothing can go wrong. And if anything goes wrong, we have always this. Adding a few more ornaments to this baroque portal. Baroque was all about ornaments. They everywhere. Some people believe that there is too many of them. There's not a single spot without something that makes it look more rich, more prominent. Whether it's a floral ornament or a little angel or anything. Baroque was about a richness. Each and every single spot had to have this richness in it, and it's like kind of opposite to today's architecture when everything is very geometrical, very kind of clean. In Baroque, each and every inch of an architecture had to be as important as anything else, just like in Baroque music. So yeah, I've just added a bit of richness to this arch here, and well, when you do on a Baroque style, be prepared to spend hours and hours, because there's so many tiny little bits and pieces that you have to kind of work on. But hey, we're not in rush. We have so much time, and it has to be pleasure and fun. And whenever you feel like you're a bit tired with what you do, please take a break. Take a break, breathe, grab a cup of coffee, or forget about the drawing for a day or two. Come back fresh, and that's a big help. I do it all the times. Of course, you can work on these details up to the point of photographic effect, like you can make them looking like a black and white picture. But in case of my drawing, I just wanted to show you, first of all, the next idea in a concept of drawing within a drawing. Hopefully you can see the eagle, and when you look closer you can see two ladies. But yeah, I mean, where is the end of the drawing? That's a tough one. It's totally up to you. It's totally up to you. I mean, you can leave it loose. And I'm thinking about leaving this one loose. I think I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. Of course, you can add more details and polish it up, but the main idea behind this series is to show you the concept, and I think at that stage is we kind of accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. So yeah, I'll put few final touches behind the camera, and I'll see you in the final reveal and few final words. So please stay with me, and I'll see you in a few moments, seconds, touches of pencil, you name it. Hey, it's art. So we can be creative even in terms of telling how much time it takes from one shot to another. So yeah, just give me a bit, and I'll see you with a final result and a few final words. Spend a few moments off the camera on kind of polishing the final details, and I believe this drawing is ready. So today's project, today's finished drawing, I called it Baroque Eagle. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. What do you think? I hope you like it. I had a little fun creating that image, and if so, please leave the like and share your comments in the comment section underneath the screen, and definitely subscribe to the channel. I'm working on the episode number 5. Bear with me. I think it's gonna be as intriguing as that one. Don't forget about our Facebook page. It's called Setner Studio. I have included the link in the description of this video. If you would like to share with me and with other members of our community your images, please upload it. It's free to the public. You can share your images with me, with us, and we can discuss it and share our thoughts. So yeah, I think it would be a perfect place to build up our group and have a chance to meet each other. Anyways, that's it for today's episode. I hope you like it. Until next time, and happy drawing!